Let's go back to a time in which the Antichrist was made. Hello everyone, I'm Jay Mare and welcome to my new review of the movie The First Omen. And this prequel to the original Omen from the 70s is directed by Akasha Stevenson and starring Nell Tiger-Free, Ralph Ineson and Charles Dance. And yes, this is a new religious horror movie that just came out in theaters, and it's a prequel of the Omen from, I believe, 1976, the movie directed by Richard Donner. And I was kinda excited for it, but let's say on a very safety excitement, because I'm not always too big when they do a prequel or a sequel or direct sequel on an original movie, especially from the 70s. Those are always hit or miss, mostly miss than a hit. So I was actually excited because The Omen is actually one of the few religious horror movies that I always have liked. Really love The Omen. Also Damien The Omen 2 is a very good movie. So I was excited to see a movie about the creation of the Antichrist, because The Omen is all about the Antichrist, Damien, the kid, and this movie is about how Damien was born. So the movie is about a character that is played by Nell Tiger-Free, and she is also a very young sister, a nun, who's from America, and she comes to Italy, to Rome, to join the church, an orphanage actually, to take care of young girls who are in the orphanage. And slowly certain things are starting to happen, and she has a very interest in one particular girl, Carlita. And their relationship causes some problems and things escalate in a very intense way. That's The First Omen. And let's first say that I really love the opening scene. The First Omen has a fantastic opening scene, a very creepy, eerie, atmospheric opening scene. And it's all about Father Brennan, who is one of our main characters, is played by Ralph Ineson. And he visits a church, this other father who's played by Charles Dance. And they have this conversation. It's very mysterious. The character of Charles Dance doesn't give away too much, but the way he says things and the little information we already get creates the right atmosphere for this movie. So really love this opening scene. Also, our main character is fantastic. This young sister, the American sister who comes to Rome. She's also a very sweet girl, but she always says that she was kind of a troublemaker in her past. She always has a connection to the church, and she wants to devote her life to the Lord. And Nell Tiger-Free did an amazing job acting wise. I never heard of this actress before. I don't know if she has done other stuff before this movie. I have not seen her in anything else. This is the first time I believe I saw her, and I was blown away by her acting. She did a fantastic job. First as a sweet girl, and at a certain point when the horror really kicks in, she goes all the way, man. She has to do some crazy stuff in this movie, and she nails it. So it was a really great main character to follow in this movie. And also, a little thing that I have this movie, like I said in other videos, I'm not the biggest fan of religious horror movies. It's not my preferable horror subgenre for all kind of reasons. So whenever a religious horror movie comes out, it really has a difficult task to convince me that religious horror movie can work. And the first half of this movie didn't convince me about that. The First Omen takes a very long time to really kicks off its story, to go to the crazy stuff, to the intense stuff, to what makes the Omen movies. So it was a bit of a boring first half, but once we get to the second half, it really delivered, man. There was some really amazing stuff I have seen in this movie. Great stuff, and that second half really convinced me that religious horror movies can work. But there is a plot twist. This whole movie is about a plot twist. I saw this plot twist coming. I immediately knew that this was going to happen, and it actually happened. But nonetheless, when it actually happened, I was still amazed by how they executed this plot twist. How, again, great acting job by Nell Tiger Free when the plot twist was revealed. And from then on, this movie gets really crazy, but I actually love it. It makes a great horror movie in my opinion. However, the biggest problem I had with watching the First Omen is that I had constantly had to think about another movie, a very similar movie. And that's because the First Omen is a twin movie. For those who don't know what twin movies are, just to give a short explanation, twin movies are two movies that came out very close to each other, mostly in the same year, that are very similar to each other in structure and in story. And the First Omen has a twin that came out 3 or 4 weeks before this release, and that's the movie Immaculate, the religious horror movie with Sydney Sweeney. I also did a review on that movie, always be free to check out that review. But while watching the First Omen, I had to think a lot about Immaculate, so maybe if Immaculate wasn't released now, maybe my experience with the First Omen would have been different. That was just something I had to think about while watching it. And also, the First Omen is of course a prequel, so you know where it's all leading to. However, I really like the ending, and I believe they want to do another movie to follow up this one, and to do things a bit different with the Omen story, so I'm really looking forward to that. So all in all, I actually enjoyed the First Omen, and it is a very intense and amazing horror movie, and it's the perfect prequel to the Omen. So I definitely recommend to see the First Omen. So these were my thoughts on this movie. I hope you like my review. Always be free to share your thoughts below in the comments. Would love to read those. And if you want to see more reviews of me in the future, always be free to subscribe to my channel. Until the next time.